The Giza Pyramids complex is the most famous Egyptian region ever. Although its name is the Pyramids of Giza, the huge Abu al-Holy statue is never less popular than the pyramids themselves, and almost there is a picture of the region except and the convergence of the statue is present in it. Often people know that the Sphinx is a statue based on the form of a lion and the head. It is famous for the pre-hall, as well as exposed to damage over the years with 7 erosion factor, and its features have changed, especially the broken nose. Welcome, I am Omar Abdin, but before we start, if it is not new in the channel, you will not forget to work as a sugar. The Abu al-Hala statue is one of the most famous acting in the whole world, and its body in the form of a lion is a sign of strength and his head in the form of a human head is a sign of wisdom, and the statue is made of limestone and connects to a height of approximately 20 meters. As for the length of the statue, to the end of the agriculture, it is a full 73 meters, and according to the narration currently approved in the science of Egypt, this statue was built by King Khafre, which built the middle pyramid at the time of construction approximately 2530 BC. And with this statue, Khafre built the Sphinx of the Sphinx near it, given that the Sphinx is a form of the sun god of the ancients. Regardless, if the novel was true, and it truly was the one who built the statue or raised from the kings, it is the one who built it, except that the sacrifice is that there is more than a king who participated in adding accessories to the statue. You have, for example, King Ashmabat II, who added to the Sphinx square a new temple in the year of the 20-7 BC, and the fourth destroyed king who added the famous dream painting between the feet of the Sphinx. This is the agreed editions, but in other editions, they are different with the beard, nose and colors, all of which are experts of Egyptology experts. Although the words that this missed are considered the narration adopted in Egyptology, the consultation of scholars is almost agreed to be merely a temporary novel, and they are still enriching new discoveries so that they can succeed in theories of other theories. However, in some information, it was finally confirmed, for example, that the statue is a rock sculpture that is not building a complex of different pieces of studies. As for the information that is not connected to it, it is classified as facts, even if it is mentioned that it turns into facts over the coming years. The one who evacuated the Egyptian scholars tend to wait is the funerary temple that the king built a thief near the statue, and some researchers considered not enough evidence of the percentage of the statue itself the light, and this is because the uniforms of what we said in it more than a king add accessories to the statue. In addition, because there is no inscription or evidence written in the attribute of the statue of a murder, and the question remains who built the Sphinx of the Horror if it was not a thief, so he had many opinions that are different among the scholars. However, all the candidates are like King Khafre. There is no evidence that they are really the real construction of the statue, and although there are many names that are candidates, the fourth family, which is considered a family of Khafre, occupies the lead in Batanin, not candidates. The first of them is King Khufu Psycho before King Khafre, and the second candidate is King Guddi, the branch of the brother of King Khafre, but nevertheless in theories, they say that those who built this statue are kings of the pre-family era. Rather, in a theory of a transplant in the next of the Jolly of the legendary Anunnaki people who are considered to be a resident of a planet other than the Earth, who says that they are aliens coming from the righteousness. The owners of the theory believe that now there are countries who teach the ancient civilizations the methods of building and urbanism, but one of the funniest theories is the theory that says that the father of Al-Hwim is a statue of any property mainly. This is simply because the statue of the female who have this theory believes that the Sphinx is a statue devoted to the worship of the ancient Egyptian gods Isis, and this theory specifically by wearing a second truth, which is that the statue is originally not known for the certainty of the purpose of its creation. The narration adopted in Egyptology. But if one day, it remained proven the authenticity of the theory that it says is a statue in the form of a miss, so it means that the goal of building it will also change. And a guest on the two theories also states of theoretical, the theory is likely that it is a statue of the worship of the god Roti, which remains for the beliefs of the ancient Egyptian. One of the most needs that support the theory is that the god Rudi, this is the ancient Egyptian. Through the theory of God Rotita, he remained a reality for us, which is that the Sphinx is originally poisoned by the Sphinx of the Sphinx is the Arabic name for the statue. The interpretations differed from their seat between that the ancient Arabs called the statue the name as a result of its luxury and its terrifying form and its transcendence of the Sphinx in the sense of Abu al-Arab or Abu al-Faka. As for the second narration, it says that the name of the Sphinx is just an Arab name from the original name with a passion or a head, which means in the ancient Egyptian house of Al-Ain or Horus-Bite, considering that he is the eye of Horus who is in the place of the place. As for the real name of the true Sphinx, who was most likely to be used by the ancient Egyptians, is the name derived from the lower science guard, the Sphinx of Abu al-Faka. His real name was Khayat. But the name of this roti remained changing in the era of the modern state and called the ancient Egyptians to the Sphinx of Our or a sister in the sense of Horus al-Sakra on the horizon. One of the facts of the truth, which has proven wrong in a way that is not doubtful, is the famous novel that tells that Napoleon and his army were the ones who caused the nose of the Sphinx. And they repeated that they were sending a message to the Egyptian resistance by hitting the symbol of strength and steadfastness that is the Sphinx. And who was aimed at desecrating the Sphinx after noticing that the common people were blessed with it, and the truth is that the two narrations of countries are often not correct, but the reason for the fall of parts of the statue is due to the element of time and the erosion of this is that we were leading us to a new surprise that many people are ignorant of. Many people believe that the winds that were a rap and a sand who worked in the statue throughout the ages were the reason for the damage of the statue. But the surprise remained, from the point of view of the two research, that the erosion factors represented in the wind and sandstorms have their benefits greater than its damages, but they would consider it one of the factors that saved the statue all the time. This is because the Sphinx was almost hidden under the sand. According to the words of the scholars, this region was continuously exposed to rain and the flood of the Nile. Which supports this theory is the discovery of a shield of granite that was erected around the statue. The Sphinx, when it was built for a long time, was not the unity in the passion, as was a lecture with the temples and fences that formed bumps and provided him with great protection. To the extent in some parts of the statue, especially the region, which is behind the ear, it spreads until today, the original colors that were painted with it, and this leads us to a new fact before Hall when it was adopted. Those who see this day are just the ruins of the original colored sculpture. One of the strange state of the historical statue of Abu al-Holy is that over decades, no one would know its true shape and that because most of his body was permanently under the sand and throughout history, he tried a lot of those interested in excavating and removing the sand from the statue. However, all the attempts were not successful in the quantities that were shivering, which were met by other quantities that accumulate due to the wind and storms. Among the most famous attempts to reveal the statue is the attempt by the Italian explorer, Giovanni Battista, in 1817 AD. Although Giovanni monitored a large budget and gathered a 60-1 person to carry out displacement work, the attempt to try it was unsuccessful. The situation preferred this to some extent that the Egyptian archaeologist Salim Hassan finally managed to do the mission in 1939. It is the task that was considered a global achievement at the time. The Sphinx is considered one of the most statues in the world that has been studied, and theories are presented from all over the world, and one of the most famous theories is the theory presented by the British Gerard Hancock, who confirmed the relationship of the Sphinx, the workers of the temple and the four. And the pyramids in the sites of stars and towers, and the greatest modern disclosure is the disclosure of the flag, in which a group of tools, utensils, and luxury doctors were discovered in addition to fat pieces of cows, sheep and goats, which are the needs from which they were eaten that the daughters of the statue eaten. This is the matter of a dialectical issue that lasted for a very long time, and who assumed that the pyramids and the Sphinx were built by slaves. Finally, Lin and Zahi's study presented some evidence through housing and tools, provided that the Sphinx statue was built in 3 years by only 100 individuals. But so, who arrived here, all who arrived here, you can create people.